Okay, Russ, I'm going to create a little video here for you to show you how to properly create a project from a help desk ticket. So what we can see from this is I just created a new help desk request as a test, and I'm just going to edit this for a quick second, and we're going to assign it to me just to simulate an actual help desk ticket. And I'll just pick something simple like email for a category, and then I will update it. So now we have a typical help desk request. We're going to pretend that this is one of the old ones that you're converting into a project. So really the first thing that you want to do, because we're eventually going to be deleting this help desk request, so what you want to do is go to Actions, and we're going to go to the Print Preview selection right here, because the purpose of this is we're going to print this to PDF. So we're not actually going to print it in the normal sense, but we want to make a PDF of it. Now I'm doing this on a Mac, so your mileage may vary. It should look very similar to this. So we're going to say print, and I've already got this selected as PDF, and so we're going to save it. Now I'm going to save this to my desktop, which you may not be able to see here. So we did that. So now we basically have a PDF that's sitting on my desktop, and that PDF contains essentially every conversation, every reply, every aspect of the ticket, because we're going to need that a little bit later in order to convert all of this. So another thing I'm going to do real quick here is I'm just going to copy the description that the requester, which in this case was me, submitted during the original help desk request submission. Okay, so we've done that. We can close that separate window. So let's say now we're going to proceed with making a project out of this. We're going to go over to the Projects tab, and I'm going to select a new project. And in this case, I'm just going to paste essentially the subject that would have been submitted in the subject line of the help desk ticket, as well as a project description. This is essentially the body of the help desk ticket. If a person submitted a great big long description of what their problem was, you want to copy and paste that right here into this field. And if you look at the email that I sent to you, we have to have a project code for every one of these. That's very important because when I print these reports off, they have to be legible, and we've got to be able to see I have to be able to sort them by project code essentially, and if you leave this blank, then there's not going to be anything in there. So the format that we use for this, and you can refer back to your email, is we're going to do 2017. Today is the 20th of September, 0920. TB, because it's going to be assigned to me. Then a dash, and then just a really quick description. Something like that. This is a test. Notice there's no spaces in there. There's just the date format with a dash or a hyphen followed by a very, very short description. With site, we usually don't assign these to a site, so you can leave that one blank. The project type is either going to be business or infrastructure. Infrastructure would be things like wiring, and you know the difference between that. If it's a software type of thing for AppRouse departments, you would probably select business. The scheduled start date should be the date that the original help desk ticket was submitted. So I'm going to select today's date. You'll have to read that off of the original help desk ticket. We will not put a scheduled end date just yet. We'll let the technician handle that. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do the owner. I know you probably struggled with this because the software is not very intuitive. We're just going to leave that blank for now. Priority. Projects are always project priority, so you do not want to select the priority that was requested in the help desk ticket. All projects that you create will always be project in the priority list. And then we're going to save that. And this essentially is the result of what you get then. Now we still have to resolve this little problem here with the owner situation. One thing though I'm going to do is I'm going to attach that PDF that I created, so let's do that step now. I'm going to click Attach File, and I'm going to browse now for the PDF that we selected earlier, and there it is, and then I'm going to attach it. Now we have that entire dialogue or history of the original help desk ticket, which the technician can now refer to if he needs to. In other words, you're going to be deleting that old help desk ticket. So if you don't do this step, then we're literally going to lose all the information that was in those. So please make sure you're doing that. Now, let's go back to members. Since I did not select an owner here, because I'm going to actually, just as a test, I'm going to assign this to you, and then I'm going to go back and delete it. So we're going to go to the Members tab. Now it's already prompting for me because I'm the one that created it, but we're not going to use me, we're going to use somebody else, in this case you. So I've selected the other members. You have to go over to this little hourglass thing over on the right, and then I'm going to search for Russ. And then I'm going to click Go over here. And there it found you, so I'm going to put a checkbox next to your name. Then I'm going to, in the Assign Role, I'm going to make you a project admin. You have to do that, or else the person is not going to be able to make the changes that they need to make on this thing. So I'm going to click Add, and that should do it. So now if I go back to this little pencil thing, which is editing the actual project, now I will be able to select you. You know how before it would only prompt with my name because I'm the one that created it. So by going back and adding that other member, now you can select that as a pull down. And now I'm going to update the project. And this is just a screen garbage type of thing. Don't pay any attention to that. It did take the changes that we listed. And that's pretty much it. We're not going to fill out milestones and tasks and all that. That's for the technician to do. Then what I will do is I'm going to go back and I'm actually going to delete this request. And we don't want to close it. I'm actually going to delete it by placing a checkbox next to it. And by the way, be very careful as you're doing that, because you notice how this checkbox is very close to this one. We don't want to delete all 172 tickets that we have in the system. So I'm going to place a check there, and in Actions I'm going to go Delete, and now it's gone. So that's basically it. Hopefully that makes sense.